advantages that corporations can have is when they have problems, they can hire individuals that are contingent. In other words, they come in just when you need them. So you get a Santa Claus just during November, December. You get help during the summer rush. You get help during the vacation period. So it's not unusual for people to say, well, I like to hire consultants. There are certain problems where I need short-term knowledge really quick, but I only need it for a short period of time. What's the best way? I've dealt with lots of consultants in my life. I find there are 10 criteria you can use, or 10 ways to assess whether consultants. Rather than looking at their degrees or their pedigree, I recommend you just ask them to provide a simple solution to your problem. So if you say, look, I have a turnover problem, or I'm not hiring women engineers, or I'm not doing this, they should be able to outline their solution, and you should hire them based on their solution, based on their approach. Second, proof of recent work. So not that they did this 10 years ago, but recently, have they solved a similar problem, and will they show you the report or the work or the end product? Do they quantify the results? So one thing I find is that, they mention their results as a consultant. They've worked at this company, but they don't put them in dollar forms. So if they quantify the results and say, I increased revenue $20 million, I increased sales, I increased productivity, and they use numbers, then I would be impressed with them. A lot of people know what to do, but very few know why. So if you say, hug workers, it increases retention, that's good. But why does it work? And when does it work? Can you hug them too much? Can hugging result in sexual harassment? So the good ones know why things work, when they don't, common problems. And when you ask them, what could go wrong, they have a list of 10 things that have gone wrong or that could go wrong. They provide a competitive advantage. So a lot of firms, in particular recruitment, marketing firms, will come in and say, well, here's an approach. Well, what if it's the same approach they also applied at your competitor across the street? Then you're getting a good approach, but it's not a competitive approach, it's not a different approach. So if you're trying to beat your marketplace, get the best talent, you have to have approaches that have not been applied other places, that are unique to you, and that they agree that when they leave, they're not going to apply it the next day to your direct competitors, which I've certainly seen happen. They need to be database decision makers. So if you ask them how they decide to do what program, what element, if they said intuition, past history, we always do it that way, bad answer. Hire people that make decisions based on data. Obviously, if the best firm, so if Google or Apple or Microsoft or someone, Zappos, has hired you, they're pretty selective. They can hire almost anyone. They can afford almost anyone. So to some extent, if you've worked at top, not big firms, but top innovative firms, fast-moving firms, that would be a good indication in addition to the other factors. They understand your culture, so not everyone is that different, but there are unique aspects, there are unique problems. If they can identify those problems and say, look, most things that work over here wouldn't work here for this reason, because of this geography, this technology, whatever it happens to be. So they understand your culture and your unique problems. They have a continuous improvement component, so great programs that work one year become less effective the next year and less effective the next. So if they recommend a solution and it doesn't have continuous improvement in it, I would be worried about these individuals. And last, I find that the very best offer a guarantee. So if I'm doing executive search and I do recruiting and the person doesn't work, yeah, I might offer to refill the position, but will I give up my fee if it doesn't work? Will I allow you to write a check for whatever it was worth? So the best consultants to me are confident in their work, confident in the results, and they offer a guarantee. If you're going to hire a consultant, it's a good idea, but be careful. They overpromise. They use language. Oh my God, they have these engagement terms all over the place. They invent new phrases. They invent new tools. But do they have proof it works? And do they quantify the results? Can they show you that this result will happen within this month, and they know why it happens? So do hire consultants, but be cynical. The ones that talk the most are probably not the best. Those that can demonstrate the results, guarantee results, come up with innovation, come up with new approaches that provide you with competitive advantage, those would be the best to hire.